He would have to come into the front part of the restaurant where there was this English girl. She was making eyes at him. And eventually Hitler said, "Who is this woman?" And somebody said, "She's the daughter of an English lord and she very badly wants to meet you." So he said, "Bring her over."
Hitler asked her about herself, "Who are you, what are you doing here?" And she said, "I'm an English girl, and I so admire what you're doing in Germany." And so Hitler was intrigued by her. This strange English blonde sort of Aryan came up and was staring at him and obviously adored him, and he was interested. Yeah, sure.
After 10 months stalking Hitler, Unity had finally met her idol. They spoke for over half an hour, and Hitler put Unity's meal on his bill. She wrote an 800-word letter to her father, describing the day.
"It was the most wonderful and beautiful of my life. I am so happy that I wouldn't mind a bit dying. I suppose I am the luckiest girl in the world. For me, he is the greatest man of all time."
Unity's relationship with Hitler progressed reasonably fast after she'd met him, and it wasn't too long before she was very much in his kind of inner circle. She would be invited to the party rallies, to sort of state events, so she was very much persona grata.
In April 1935, Unity's sister Diana came to visit and was introduced to Hitler for the first time.
His manners were very courtly. He kissed hands and ushering ladies to a chair and that sort of thing. And he did have a sense of humour because he very clever at imitations, which is a sign that somebody's very observant. And he could take people off in a very clever way.
Apparently Hitler would do a mimicry. For instance, I think he imitated Mussolini, which would have been rather fun to see, wouldn't it?
Everyone else would just said, "Yes, yes, mein Führer, yes, mein Führer." Unity and Diana wouldn't be scared of him. And I suppose he thought, "Oh, well, thank God, here's two human beings who aren't scared of me."
After meeting Diana, Hitler described the Mitford sisters as the perfect examples of Aryan women. While Diana returned to Britain, Unity stayed in Munich and became even closer to Hitler. So why was the Chancellor of Germany so interested in a 20-year-old British student?
I think that Hitler liked Unity for two things, really. I think she entertained him. He liked having sort of pretty young women around him. But there was something else, which is quite powerful, which was that Hitler, as is well known, was exceedingly superstitious. He had all kinds of weird ideas about predestination, about his own role in German history and German mythology.
The connections between Unity and Hitler did seem uncanny. She had not only been conceived in swastika, her middle name was Valkyrie, after the war maidens in Wagner's opera. Hitler was obsessed with Wagner and was astounded to learn that Unity's grandfather, the first Lord Redesdale, had been Wagner's friend. Redesdale had also translated books by racial theorist Houston Stewart Chamberlain, an author who had profoundly influenced Hitler when writing Mein Kampf.
When he discovered this link between Wagner, German history and Unity, it would have been, for him, a sort of sign that Unity was sort of sent to him, it was destined or something like that.
Unity and Hitler's relationship soon became the subject of speculation in the British press. Speculation that still continues today. Journalist Martin Bright is trying to substantiate rumours that Unity Mitford gave birth to Hitler's baby.
Well, we've got to the stage now where I'm really keen to know whether this birth happened or not. So we've come to the Oxford Registry Office to ask whether any births were registered to the house in Wigginton and whether we can find out whether there was any child at all.
reporter Martin Bright has heard a claim that Hillview House was a secret wartime maternity home where Unity Mitford gave birth to Hitler's baby. Martin is visiting the local registry office to see if any element of the story can be substantiated.
Well, it does seem from the registers that that address has been used for a lot of babies' births.
And more babies than would have been possible for a single family.
I would think so, yes. I mean, one would expect there to be a bit of a gap, whereas these seem to appear very frequently.
The records examined by Martin suggest that Hillview House was used as a maternity home during the war, but there is no sign of Unity Mitford's name in the official birth register.
Is there such a thing as unregistered births?
Indeed, there are. I mean, we do on occasion now get people who come to us and they're absolutely certain that they were born at a particular address and we haven't got any trace of their entry. I mean, obviously, we're talking here pre-National Health Service, we're talking about war years, so I don't know if any babies did slip through the net. So these are the indices.
Well, it's very tantalising. We've found that the house was indeed a maternity home, but we still do not have the confirmation of Unity Mitford's child.
The question of how intimate Hitler and Unity became has been the subject of gossip and innuendo ever since they first met in 1934. At that time, Hitler had begun courting Eva Braun, but the couple were not yet living together. In May 1935, on hearing of the hours Hitler was spending with Unity, Eva wrote in her diary,
"She is known as the Valkyrie and looks the part, including her legs. I, the mistress of the greatest man in Germany and the whole world, I sit here waiting while the sun mocks me through the window panes."
Somehow he was able to play Unity off against Eva Braun. So there's a scene in one of the party rallies when he puts these two women sitting next to each other in his special box. He knew that this could only create trouble. And Eva Braun was jealous of Unity, and Unity was jealous of Eva Braun. So there's some element of sexual rivalry being inspired by Hitler.
2 weeks after the diary entry, Eva tried to commit suicide by overdosing on sleeping pills. Hitler immediately became more attentive and installed her in a villa with a maid and a Mercedes. For Unity, it was an important lesson. Keeping the Führer's attention required dramatic behavior. In the summer of 1935, Unity saw an opportunity when she became close to one of Hitler's oldest friends. Julius Streicher, the publisher of hysterical anti-Semitic newspaper, Der Stürmer.
Streicher's only message, really, is that the Jews are responsible for all the evil of the world and must be killed. And he was a tremendous fool. He has the lowest IQ of all the Nazis who were tried at Nuremberg. And he's just a hideous figure, whom you would have thought repellent just at once.
Streicher invited Unity to the Hesselberg Festival, a Nazi youth rally with a pagan theme.
Unity got in full Nazi fig for this thing. She's wearing leather and she's wearing gauntlets and she's got her badges and all the rest of it.
As Streicher addressed the 200,000-strong crowd of Hitler Youth, he invited Unity onto the podium beside him. She stepped up to the microphone and gave an impromptu speech.
Her message is Streicher's message that the Jews are responsible for everything bad, which is what Streicher would have wanted her to say.